Hello guys, I welcome you back to my channel. My name is Thlologelo Rampa and this is Relocate to Australia with Promise. Guys, this is still your #1 DIY relocation platform, meaning that if you wanted to relocate to Australia or anywhere else in this world and you did not have the money to pay an agent, this is the channel where you can get information and the courage to do this whole process yourself. I did it myself, as I've always been saying in all of my videos. I did this process myself. My family and I relocated without the help of an agent. So this simply means you guys can also do it. I'm so happy to be done with my dialogue and I'm back with everything relocation. Oh my god, finally. I've had so many people inquiring about relocating. I've got so many messages and I've got so many comments that I have to attend to. But what I did, I put everything together because people usually ask the same questions. So what I did was I put everything together, I compiled it so that I can come up with content that would address those questions. That's how I think I want to do like moving forward, because sometimes it's very hard to respond to everybody specifically with what they need and what they want for the relocation process. So I hope you guys can be a bit patient with me. I do have a lot of messages that come through and I'm trying to manage them as they come, but it is so hard. I honestly did not think there were going to be so many people wanting to relocate. I'm actually very glad because it means, you know, there are people out there who want to change their lives and want to invest in their lives, because I really do believe relocating is an investment for you, your family, and for your life. So thank you so much guys for the engagement. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. That really does help me with the work that I do. Anyways, you guys, we are back to everything relocation, as I told you, and I'm very excited about that because I really am passionate about helping people to relocate, because doing this thing alone is very hard, and I do not encourage people to do this thing alone, because if you're going to be doing this thing alone, it is going to be easy for you to fall into the scam situation. It's going to be very difficult for you to gather the information that you need and also to be guided in a proper way. Another thing, guys, I want to do a disclaimer. I am not a relocation agent. I do not even wish to be one. I'm just a girl from South Africa that did this whole process herself, and I do know where to get that information because it is free of charge and available to everyone. So I'm just showing you guys the ropes, but you guys have to do the work yourself. Okay, and when it is time for you to apply for jobs, to do interviews and all of that, guess who's gonna do that? You're gonna have to do that yourself. And I always hope to engage with people who are serious about this thing and who are done playing games and who have told themselves, you know what, this is something that we want and we are not going to even negotiate it with anyone. We have decided and that is final. So anyways, you guys, let's get down to today's business. So I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping before I continue. Okay, you guys. So okay, my life has been a drama. My life has been a movie. My life has been a movie, you guys. So basically what I wanted to do now, I had so many plans for this year. It is so funny because I truly believe you will plan 100%. You will write down your plans, you will do all of that, but God and your ancestors are the ones who approve. And sometimes God and your ancestors will want you to go through something first before you can get to where you need to get. It's a story for another day. But what I'm basically wanting to highlight is that I had plans for January to say, okay, fine, I'm going to do my dialogue December, January. And once I'm done with my dialogue, I'm going to go on a leave. When I come back from my leave, then I'm going to work on this project that I've been working on for over a year now. However, I'm unable to do so. And I'll explain this later when everything is said and done. But I'm unable to do that at this point in time. I'm so disappointed and hurt, but I do trust in God and my ancestors. And I always understand that, you know what, God's timing and ancestors' timing is always perfect timing. So I told myself that, you know what, I'm gonna trust in what they're telling me and I'm gonna put it on hold until I am fully ready for this thing. So the project is still in the works 100%. I'm not gonna even give up on it. I'm not that kind of a person. I'm not gonna give up on it. I'm still gonna be pushing. But I told myself that, you know what, sometimes when dreams are delayed, they are not denied. Sometimes if you do things and you're forced to do things even when the timing is not right, and you can feel deep down within you and everything in your environment is telling you that it is not yet time. Not that this thing is not going to happen, but it is not yet time. If you're forced to do it, that might be to your detriment. It means that you are not trusting your God and your ancestors who are leading you and guiding you. So for me, I have decided, you know what, as much as it is so painful, it is something that I have been working on, you guys. It is something that I'm so excited about, but I am trusting that, you know what, if they're saying that it is not yet time, it is okay. I will honor that. Anyways, guys, let's get down to today's business. I am officially in season 5 of my relocation business, guys. Oh my god, I cannot believe this. It's been 5 seasons. So some of the things that you guys should expect this year is I'm still going to be doing my finance series, but that's going to be like another season on its own. And I'm also going to do a season that is fully and 100% focused on employment, how to get employment, how to navigate this space, how to apply for jobs when you're onshore in Australia or even outside of Australia, you know, all of that business. I'm going to be discussing that, and I'm also going to be discussing the PR process, which is the permanent residency process. Okay, you guys, so that is the plan for this year. For season 5, I just want to keep it light and just ease into the whole relocation discussion. What I've done with season 5 was to gather the comments and the inboxes that I've been getting and some of the questions that people have been asking about little nitty-gritties, like for example, what to do if I am over the age of 40 or 45 and I want to relocate. What does that look like for me? And all those kind of discussions. So I've basically summed everything up together to kind of like address those little pointers that are very important, but people don't usually think about them. Like it's one of those things where you're like, I wonder, but you know, you're never really too sure. Okay, am I in the right direction or am I lost? So this season is going to be wrapping it up for you guys, and hopefully it will help you with your relocation journey. So with that said and done, today I'm going to be talking about relocation in 2022. Relocating, if you've got plans of relocating in 2022, what to expect and what that will look like for you. Obviously, guys, your things have been all over the place because of COVID. Hey, it's been a crazy 2 years. It's been a very crazy 2 years. We've been in Australia now for 3 years because we relocated in 2019. And reflecting back, I think about it, I'm like, hey, you know, it was literally, we literally did not make it. We were like this, we literally almost did not make it, because if maybe something had happened to delay us back home and we're like, no, we'll relocate the following year in 2020. Imagine then COVID happens and then boo, boo, boo. I don't even want to imagine how life would have looked like for us if we had found ourselves well within the pandemic and still back home trying to relocate. A lot of people have been struggling, but I have also seen a lot of people relocating. For people that have relocated during the COVID pandemic, you guys were literally graced. You were just walking with mercy from God and your ancestors and who you are talking to, because a lot of people have struggled during this time to relocate. A lot of people that I know, especially coming from South Africa, have actually even decided we don't even want to go to Australia anymore, because here borders were closed, they were like, we are not taking nobody. But with the UK, because anyway, going to the UK is much more easier than coming to Australia. The process is a lot more easier, a lot more straightforward, and there are a lot of agencies that do help South Africans to relocate and people from other countries. However, I know of a lot of people, especially in the social work field, that have decided, you know what, we're going to go to the UK because it's much more easier, still going to be making good money, and then once we've gained our work experience, and or even after this whole COVID pandemic and we've gone to a new normal, we can then try our luck with Australia. Because if Australia is the destination, do not lose faith. It is going to happen, you guys. In Australia at the moment, they have opened their borders, which I believe they are now easing back into opening visas for people to now start applying for permanent residency visas. For permanent residency visa and work permits and all of that. For visas such as the TSS visa, they have been open for a while now. The TSS visa is the employee-sponsored visa. I've spoken about it. I have videos where I discuss the TSS visa. With that visa, obviously, because your employer would have to apply for that visa for you. English. Hey, yes, your employer will apply for that visa for you. That process, I think, was still open. The only problem was you getting flights into the country and then the borders being opened and closed. I know of a lot of people that had secured jobs and they were just literally waiting for the borders to open. And once the borders were open, they were able to come in. I know of a family that had been waiting for a long time to come to Australia, and that window opened where Australia opened their borders and they came in. And I think about 2 weeks after coming to Australia, the borders closed again, imagine. But lucky enough, they managed to come in. And obviously now, because Australia was waiting to reach a certain percentage of people who were vaccinated in the country, they have now opened up their borders again, meaning that people who want to come here to visit, study, work here are able to do so. We're not too sure how long that's going to be active, because with Australia, you cannot confirm anything. Literally today, the borders are open. You wake up tomorrow, they are closed. They've got Zuma tendencies, right? Anyway, papara, overnight you wake up, there are new rules. You're like, Ivan Khaning, when we were sleeping, what were you guys doing? So I know a lot of people had to put their dreams and hope to relocate on hold because of the COVID pandemic. For me, I truly believe in blessings and opportunities that come wrapped up in trials and tribulations. or some blockage or something like that, where you think that you are in the deepest and the most darkest hole you've ever been, only to find that no, you were being prepared for something great and something big. So do not stop working on your dreams and your goals just because there is a stumbling block or there's something that is standing before you and you're thinking it's a challenge. Shem, you are done, this is the end of the world for you. I always believe that God is preparing you for something, and that's why even when you are in your darkest of dark moments, still continue working to get out of there. If you had 2 years where borders were opening and closing and all of that, it means that you had 2 years to learn information about relocating. By the time you come to Australia, you're as good as an agent. But if you're going to sit there and say, well, the borders are closed, there's nothing I can do. If you're stuck there, it is your fault because that is what you said. What comes out of your mouth, so shall it be. But if you tell yourself, you know what, even though the borders are closed, this is what I'm going to do in preparation to going to Australia because I know this is what I want. The other thing that I will highlight to you guys, if you're planning to relocate to Australia in 2022, you need to learn to be patient. And that is one thing that I had to learn. I don't even know if I learned it the hard way, but with us, I've explained this in my previous videos. From the time that we decided to relocate to then coming to Australia, it took us about 2 years. We did not have the information that we needed. We were going around in circles. We were going to wrong places to look for information. We were all over the show. We were all over the place. We could not afford an agent, so we literally had to do everything ourselves. But the beauty that came out of that, look, now I am on YouTube having an entire channel to educate people. You see, everything happens and everything comes together for greater good. So I always truly 100% believe in that. So with whatever trials and tribulations you're going through or you are going to go through this year, be patient, learn patience, learn to walk in faith, and know that if this is a promise and something that you and your ancestors and God and whoever you speak to have agreed on to say, if you do this for me, I will do this for you, and if you trust in me, I will trust in you, then know it is going to happen. The dream only works if you work it. God helps those who help themselves. You cannot sit there and think a red carpet is going to be laid down for you because when you were told you were special, you're a doctor, the creme de la creme of Africa, you got distinctions, gupi gupi wara wara. They don't care. Life does not care. The dream only works if you work it. And not only that, in your patience and you being still, don't be frantic, don't panic, don't stress. Because if you then channel the negativity of it and you dwell in a negative space, that's how you're going to attract people that are going to scam you. That's how you're going to attract people that are going to want to do you dirty because they can smell and see your desperation. So remain still, be patient, and trust in the process. Trust in God, trust in your ancestors, trust in whoever you are speaking to, okay? So obviously now with the borders open and us going into a new normal, it means that you guys will now be, I hope, ready to start your relocation process. For those that have not yet started, the one thing that I will emphasize you guys is that you need to do your research and you need to know what you're getting yourself into. I've been saying this for a very long time. You need to know what you're getting yourself into. You need to know and understand the terminologies and everything that they talk about when they talk relocation, okay? Your mind and your brain, you should eat, drink relocation. When you think, you dream relocation. Everything you do is your conversations should be relocation. For you to then get into the space and frame of mind that is focused 100% on you leaving wherever you are and going to a new country. You need to do your research 100%. There's no other way, especially if you're going to be doing this without an agent. And even if you are doing this with an agent, it is best for you to know this process so that when you have a conversation with your agent, you can be like, okay, how far are you with the process? Have you done this? Have you done that? Okay, I do understand that the next step is to do this. Have you done that? And how far is that going? I'm telling you, your agent is going to be like, where did this person get the information? Because the very same information that your agent has is the same information you have access to. You, me, and everybody in this world, we have that same information. That's why you can do this process yourself without the help of an agent. It is best for you to be informed and clued up. And also when you are going to be talking to an employer and they're saying, okay, fine, we're going to be applying for a TSS visa for you, at least you know what the TSS visa is. What does it entail? How many years? What does it mean? Even things that are outside of what your employer are going to tell you. Because some employers will not even tell you, what this visa is valid for however many years. This visa does not give you these benefits. This is how binding the visa and the contract will be. They might not even tell you that information. So these are things that you would have to go out and seek that information. This thing is not easy, you guys, and you really need to know what you're getting yourselves into, because you don't want to go into this thing, sign contracts, leave your life wherever you are, come here to get stuck and depressed and all of that. You don't want to do that. I will not say that this journey is going to be easy. It will not be. For people who have had it easy, I honestly do not know Guti Nina Nikita Eli Pizzozi, because wow, this this process will teach you things about yourself, and 100% it will truly humble you. And it doesn't end the day you get a visa. There are other challenges that are still going to come and that you need to be ready for. And that is why you've got me, the beautiful Promise, on your screens, and I'm going to help you walk this process with as much knowledge as possible. It's not going to be easy just because you're watching me, but at least there's some form of guidance and somebody that has walked this path, and this is what it's going to look like when you're on the other side. So yes, you need to understand the terminologies involved in relocation, so that when somebody says visa, what does that mean? Because a visa can mean a lot of things. A visa can mean a visiting visa, it can mean a permanent residency visa, it can mean a work holiday visa. So when somebody's saying, do you have a visa, you need to understand, or what are you talking about? Like, what kind of a visa are you talking about? Is it a work permit? And when they say a work permit, does it mean visa? You need to understand those terminologies. You need to understand things such as your skills assessment or skill conversion, basically meaning that your qualifications are now converted into Australian standards, or they match Australian standards because you've gone through that assessment process. Those kind of things. You need to understand those terminologies. You need to understand things such as lodging your visa. Have you lodged your visa? What does lodging mean? Have you lodged your visa? What does that mean? Things such as EOI, expression of interest. What does that mean? Visa grant. What does that mean? Things such as sponsored jobs, sponsored visas. And when they say sponsored, what do they mean? Like, to what extent? How do they sponsor me? All those kind of things. You need to understand those terminologies. And the only way you can do so is not only by looking in the dictionary, but also looking at information provided by the Australian Home Affairs website. The only one place where you can truly find that information, where this is like the real information, is the Home Affairs website. Yes, there are going to be other websites that will help to guide you, but if it is not on the Home Affairs website, or a place where the Home Affairs website has told you to go look, then you have to question it or look at it 2 or 3 times to make sure that it is real information. So you need to understand the terminologies when you're doing your research, and you need to understand what you're getting yourself into. I really do recommend that if relocating is something you want to do, get a book. Me, I'm a person who writes a lot. I'm always writing things. Get a book where you gather all your information and you put it down there. So what I used to do now, I had this book. Outside that book, I wrote Australia 2019, because I told myself, me, I'm a true believer of writing things down according to Habakkuk 2 verse 2. That is my ultimate verse all the time. When I'm just all over the place, I'm like, as God has said, write the vision down and make it clear on tablets, so that whoever may read it may run with it. Meaning that whoever sees that vision or that plan on that piece of paper or tablet or whatever that you're going to be writing on, they can see, this is where we need to go. Okay, Asambele, let's go. I remember because I was hospitalized for depression in 2017, and I came out just before Christmas. And then 2018, when 2018 started, I just had this book and I wrote Australia 2019. I had no idea that I was actually going to relocate in 2019, but I said to myself, you know what? That is the target. I am going to leave. 2019, I'm going. So in that book, I wrote everything that I needed to do. So I had a checklist to say, okay, fine. According to the information so far that I have gathered, I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I had a checklist to say, okay, once I've done this, once I've done that, once I've done my passport, once I've done this, once I've done that, I would tick them off to say, okay, now this is how far we have come and this is how far we need to go. So with that checklist, there were some things that I did not know that I would need, because I guess you are doing something new and you don't know what you are doing. So I would have to amend it, add things, take out things along the way. So with the rest of the pages, I would write either like jobs that I've applied for, or jobs that my husband had applied for, what the response was, if he's gone through that interview, and then I'd have an outcome. And there were so many of them where I would write rejected, rejected, rejected. But I believe in rejection being redirection. Maybe that's not where God wanted us, and it is okay. But during that time, it was painful. You want to cry because you're like, why, God? But I honestly believe that God will not lead me somewhere to just leave me there. So yes, there were a lot of rejections and all of that, but we eventually made it, and here we are. And other things that I would write in that book are things that I would learn along the way. So I would discover new visas, and I would write those visas down to say, hey, I think I might qualify for 5 of these visas. And I'll read that information and summarize what that visa entails and what it is all about. And then somewhere along that information gathering, I realized, oh no, this I cannot qualify for. As I told you guys, the Home Affairs website is much more user-friendly right now than what it was 3, 4, 5 years ago when we started our relocation process. Right now, it is so easy for you to know what visa you can qualify for because they have summed it up for you guys. So when you go to the Australian occupation list right now, it tells you if you're a social worker, these are the 5 visas or these are the 10 visas that you can qualify for. So it's then easy for you to go into them and read them. I literally went through all the visas available in Australia in 2017-18. Imagine looking for a visa that was going to suit our needs. And once I had narrowed down the visas that I wanted to focus on, then I went deeper into finding out what I need for those visas. The process was painful, the process was tedious, and imagine doing this unemployed, depressed, stressed, with everything just dragging you down. My life was a mess then, but I truly did believe that God is going to see me through it, and He really did see me through it. So yes, have a checklist, have a hit list where you're like, okay, these are the things that I need to do to get to where I need to get. And as I said to you guys, the checklist is going to shift around. It's going to move around. You're going to add some things. You're going to take out some things as you learn new things. There are no professors in the relocation process. You don't go to school for this thing. It's something that you can do. The Home Affairs website will help you and guide you. There are so many other platforms where people are having conversations about relocating. Just find yourself in those spaces so that you can learn. Be open to learning and new challenges, and you need to be strong. You need to literally be strong. Be strong, because you're going to need that strength. The one last thing that I want to highlight to you guys is that because things were on a bit of a standstill due to COVID, meaning that Australian immigration was not reaching their migration targets. So the skills that they want in the country, obviously they are at a shortage right now, which is great news. I believe it is great news. It means it opens up opportunities for you guys to come in. And that is why I was saying to people, even though the borders are closed, even though things are on a standstill due to COVID, just continue doing your research, gathering your information, and doing whatever that you need to do. By the time the borders open, we're not already with all your paperwork. That's what I've been saying to people last year. So I hope you guys were listening, because now things are going back to a new normal, meaning that the opportunities are coming up again, and you guys can then come to Australia. Obviously, there will be those who are in the front line ready to come in because they did the work. So good for you guys, and I'm so proud, and I'm hoping that everything will work in your favor. So that is great news. It is amazing news, and do take advantage of that. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You never know when this thing is going to come back again. So take advantage of that right now. Oh yeah, one last thing before I forget. We are going to have to obviously have a conversation about COVID, because it is still something we are trying to work around and all of that. You have to come into Australia vaccinated, you guys. Australia is very strict about that. So if you are wherever you are right now, in whatever country, you do need to get your vaccination and make sure that you're fully vaccinated before you can then relocate to this country. At this point in time, it will be challenging. I don't even think it will be possible. If you want to come to Australia, you have all your documents and everything is ready, and maybe have your visa, but you are not yet vaccinated, Australia will not allow you in. I do understand the debate about vaccinating. There's some people that don't want to do it, but if you are planning on coming to Australia, or want to come to Australia, or your visa has been approved, whatever visa that you have applied for, if you are not fully vaccinated, Asham, you will not make it past the airport. So make sure that you are fully vaccinated and you have everything that you need medical wise to get into the country. So yeah guys, that's that. We are in 2022. If you are planning on relocating in 2022, 2023, or whenever, this is the year to do it. Continue dreaming, continue working on your dream. It is going to be possible. Write things down. If you're a person who believes in writing things down, do a vision board. There's some people who work better with things such as your vision board. I know everybody likes to ride on the train here January when everybody's like vision board, goals, because Batavarata fashion. Don't be that person who does things because everybody's doing it. Every day is a good day to write a new goal. Every day is a good day to start your vision board. It doesn't have to be January. You can do it whenever you want to do it. We've got 12 months. Why should you worry about January only? Write your vision down, do a vision board, be clear on your goals, go for something, be passionate about something, work on something, work on your dreams, because dreams are valid, and do not be afraid to dream, and do not be afraid to live out your dream in this lifetime. Okay guys, I'm done. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next upload.